organization is the main vehicle for taking any program to the masses. Without a well-knit organization, nothing can be done. Howsoever good program may be, howso correct line may be, but without a organization, without rather a revolutionary organization, that program, that line cannot be implemented. That is why we have stressed on combining theory and practice. Theory and practice. If it is not combined, if there is gap between theory and practice, we talk much and no practice, then it will not be possible to implement that program. Mao Zedong wrote an essay on practice. He stressed on practice. We have also made the mention of this practice in our report, that theory is better theory. That theory is tested theory which is tested upon the touchstone of the practice. Because without practice, without implementation, all programs remain unimplemented. So we have also there I have to quote Stalin's one quotation, that theory becomes emasculated without practice. Theory becomes shallow, and practice also becomes blind without theory. That is why we say that combination of theory and practice both should go in hand in hand if we want to implement our targets, our program. So, another thing for the organization, that is, Comrade Lenin has said, to err is human. To err is human. Who do not commit mistakes? Only two types of. One is a dead person, another is superhuman. Only two categories, they do not commit mistakes. Dead man is not to do anything. And Superman man, he is a man, he is not a man. So, whosoever will do, they will commit in the course of their activities, in the course of their functioning, some mistakes. But to rectify the mistakes, communists have their weapon, criticism and self-criticism. That is a weapon we must use from top to bottom and from bottom to top. That is also mentioned in our report, which we had passed at Warangal. Criticism, that should be a constructive criticism to build the organization, to build the party. Criticism for sake of criticism is only to sabotage, to block the functioning of the party. Criticism must be constructive. Some people we have seen during all this functioning in other states also. Some people only criticize, and only those people criticize much who do not do anything, who have got responsibilities, who do the work, contribute to the party building. They are less critics. By this, I don't mean that you don't criticize the leadership, you don't criticize. Rather, self-criticize also. That is more must. Only those people have right to criticize who do something, who contribute to the party building. Who does nothing, simply criticize, that will only to hamper the work, not to advance the movement, not to advance the communism of the cause of communist movement. So criticism and self-criticism, that is also must in every forum, in every committee. That weapon we must use, otherwise we cannot rectify our mistakes. I sometimes read, long ago it has, that were during the time of Brezhnev in USSR. It was reported when Brezhnev was overthrown, what were the causes of? One of the causes was there was never any dissent in the Politburo. All decisions unanimous. Never a dissent. But Brezhnev used to say, all follow. Yes, sir. Yes, Comrade General Secretary. So this type of attitude creates personality cult. This type of functioning blocks the feedback from below. And then from upper side also, it also blocks. Whatever is said is taken as a gospel. So criticism itself, criticism is a must. And then where did that lead to? Soviet Union was not disintegrated only during the period of, we can say, Gorbachev, Yeltsin. It was long overdue. It started after 1956. Gradually, this led to this situation. Not by the outside forces, but from the within. So we have to learn all these things from the world movement also, how to build our party, how to build our organization. Another thing we feel that the role of the masses, role of the people, that is utmost importance, that is utmost decisive factor in all the changes, in all the revolutions, whether bourgeois revolutions, whether socialist revolutions, whether democratic revolutions. The role of the people, that is there. Comrade Mao Zedong also stressed on the role of the people. If we have well-knit organization in all the spheres, but if it is divorced from the people, it has not a touch upon the nerve of the people. It is isolated from the people due to their bureaucratic and other alien factors. Then people will not support that organization. That was the basic reason behind this Soviet disintegration also. This is also the reason, one of the reasons, regarding the setback of West Bengal, in West Bengal. How you can question West Bengal Left Front government? They acquired the roots through distribution of land to the peasants and landless. But on the other hand, they turned upside down all that policy and began to acquire the land for industrialists, for Tatas, for Birlas, for and all that. And what was the result? Every section of society that got alienated from. Working class got alienated due to their new industrial policy, which supported the capitalist liberalization policy. And farmers, they were alienated due to this policy, land acquisition, in order to appease the native industrialists, foreign industrialists, Indonesian. So every section, even intellectuals they were away. So I mean to say, organization, however strong may be, if it is not connected with the people, with the masses, then it can also not make any successful change or revolution. One quotation, one incident, that is a story. You might have all, I think, read history of CPSU by Comrade Stalin. I think most of you Old comrades might have read it. Oh, in that, there is one story that how to work among the masses. He quotes the example of mother. There are two wrestlers. That is a contest between one is Hercules and other's name I forgot. One wrestler, while going to contest, took the lesson. His mother said, "You don't leave the earth, Mother Earth, if you want to win." When the contest started, he always gripped the motherland, but other that he also knew that tactics, that what is the reason I have not been able to, after so much effort, to defeat him. Then he came to know of the tactics. Then he lifted him up from the earth, and immediately he was overthrown. So our mother earth are the masses. So this story Comrade Stalin had put in his history to teach that communists how they should work in the masses. People and people. Moreover, our historical materialism teaches us that heroes don't make the history. People and people, they make the history. Our historical materialism studies about the people, the role of the people. Time and again, we have to go to the people and learn from the masses, learn from the people. Only when we are, at many times we feel that we are not doing anything, what is going on, all that depression mood. But when we go to the people, people inspire you. People give inspiration. And during those struggles, communists are steeled, and the people are their real masters. We should not always forget that lesson. Sometimes, like Naxalites, I have seen many Naxalites who usually abuses of people. Oh, they are the people, they are not following us, they are not doing anything, what we can do? We say to them, please don't abuse the masses. They would say, oh, comrade, you have always been saying that, and you are suffering all that. But we have a conviction that we have to suffer for the masses, because we are fighting for the cause. We are not living a life, aimlessly life, without any cause. So communists, they are living for a cause. They are sacrificing a cause for a cause. Without sacrifice, nothing is possible. Nothing we can achieve without sacrifice. We must be prepared for sacrifice, for selfless service, and for struggles also. Without that, if we say that change will come automatically, that will not occur. You must have heard the famous quotation of Comrade Mao Zedong. He says, going to revolution, participating in revolution is not going to a tea party. It is very complex. And the change, according to our dialectical materialism, is not smooth. As Marx, I have in forwards I spoke, that is not going to take place smoothly. That is zigzag as dialectical materialism. Many ups and downs will come, many twists and turns will come, then balance of forces, then where the people stand. Are we able to convince the people or not? Again we come to the people. If we are not able to convince the people, people don't believe in us, people don't have any faith in us, then simply just by an organization, we cannot do anything. So our main stake should be on the people. You have taken rightly, I think, specific conditions and specific problems of Kerala state, which has got a very rich legacy so far the left movement is concerned. But now the left movement is in doldrums. Traditional left, I mean to say. That has impact upon all the left movement. If setback in West Bengal, then if setback in Soviet Union, that has its impact on all the movement throughout the globe, that is of Soviet Union, but in India also, that is to some extent, maybe some more, maybe some less, according to the situation, it has also got impact. So due to their follies, we have to suffer. What we can do, we have to. But we will do everything possible. We shall have to do everything possible to build our organization on our own. If we have got our own power, if we have got our own organization, then many of the speakers here, they talked of media. The media don't give any space to us. It is the situation everywhere. The media is controlled by corporate sector. Don't forget, the main media, particularly English dailies, they are controlled by one or the other corporate house. This is not unique phenomena in our country. It is everywhere in capitalist world. In US and Europe, in England also. They don't publish anything which is not suitable to corporate sector. They publish the things only that which is suitable to corporate sector. Many years back, some 3-4 years back, it was published that American people are most illiterate. You will be surprising to know that was the figure. They are most illiterate. How? They do not know anything about the world politics, about other countries, about the other world. Why? The media, they have created in their minds a spirit of, rather prejudice of superpower, being a belonging to the superpower country, the great US, the Great Britain. So their minds are so much brainwashed, so much polluted by the media. But its only answer is, if we have our own organization, strong organization, then we damn care for the media. We go on doing our own work. Media, although it is necessary, it must be used as much as possible. But the attitude of the media is such that they are not prepared to publish our views, however valuable they may be. So, we should time and again try to stress on our organization, how it is to be built. Communist Party is built from the above. If it is monolithic party, if it has got a discipline, it has got units to be below, then, and has got touch with the masses, then nobody, howsoever strong, can write off our organization. So that process, we are in the process of that. For that matter, we have to build units, well-knit units, which are connected with the masses. For that also quantity and quality is required.